odds that I contact you on Instagram and the fucking day you're here is the day your book comes out?
It's pretty unlikely.
Kind of crazy.
A little bit.
Right? You know, it's kind of like the universe smiled upon us. You know what I mean? It's like synchronicity. If you want to believe in the simulation. Sometimes I do.
I'm with you. Sometimes you just see something, you're like, this is a simulation, right?
Right.
We're not in the real.
Yeah.
There's a second and a third and a fourth and so on.
Sometimes just things seem like God is showing you satire. Like there's just a little fun thrown in there.
I'm with you.
And a lot of it is on your Instagram page. I have to tell you, dude, I have wasted so much fucking time, watching your videos going, what the fuck? Is that real? And so many things I've learned from it. It's very educational, but it's also very fun.
Thank you.
Cody Tucker, your book is called And Now You Know. And
Now You Know.
I didn't even know you had a book when I reached out to you. I just said, this guy's got to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that remains to be seen, I think, but we'll find out together.
Well, you are on Instagram. How did you get started doing that type of a page? Because it's very specific.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been interested in, like, random facts, like, you know, origin stories of words, like movies, all these different things, like the dark side of history.
Right.
And I like telling people those stories, and they seem to enjoy it whenever I tell them. So I was like, well, why don't I just, like, make little videos and clip them up, make them look all right.
What were you doing before you were doing that?
I mean, I've always had a podcast. No one watches this thing, so it's all right.
Well, we'll bump that bitch up now.
Well, it might change now, but yeah. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily recommend watching the podcast, but it exists.
That's hilarious.
That's all right, but yeah.
That is, by the way, so much better than please watch my podcast, like and subscribe. Whenever a video gets interrupted by like and subscribe, the last thing I want to do is like and subscribe. Like, come on.
I mean, I'd rather you just, if you watch it and like it, well, thank you. If you don't, you get in line. There's others.
That's how podcasts get good.
Yeah.
That's what I started out doing with this. I never advertised this thing once.
Yeah.
This thing got where it is 100% word of mouth.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So I started watching pretty early, and but it still had like a pretty decent following then. But I know like you started like.
We started in 2009.
Earlier. Yeah, so this would have been like a couple years after that even.
But when I started, me and my friend Brian, when we started, we weren't even thinking it was a podcast. We had already done these things where we'd stream live from the green room at comedy clubs back when it was on Justin TV, which became what, Jamie? Twitch. So we would just be, like Joey would be talking shit in the green room, and we'd be having fun, and we'd just film it just for fun.
Gotcha.
And then I had a few friends that started doing internet shows. Tom Green was the big one, because Tom Green had it all set up at his house.
He's incredible.
Oh, he's the best. He's such a sweetheart too. Yeah. It's like everything you would hope he'd be. That's who he is. Great fucking guy.
Yeah.
And like really. Forward thinker early on. He was like, I think I could just do this from my house. Why don't I just do? But it was too early. Like this is 2007, and the internet sucked. It wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
No one had smartphones yet. It was like, but he was patient zero, I think.
Gotcha.
Him, and then there was this Opie and Anthony show that I used to do.
Oh, they were amazing.
But Anthony Cumia started doing this thing live from the compound in his basement, where he would do karaoke with a green screen, holding a machine gun. He was he's nuts. He's out of his mind. And he had like beers on tap, so they'd be getting hammered. And he's playing video games. He's a maniac. Yeah. And I was like, that looks like so much fun. I was like, he just has a studio that he set up in his basement.
Yeah. And
so we just started fucking around with the most bare of equipment. It was a fucking laptop webcam. Yeah, and we had like a USB mic.
Yeah. Okay.
We had one of them blue mics, the big stupid silver ones. We had one of those.
Like $30 at Walmart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how we started. And then, we just kept doing it. But telling people not to go to your podcast is classic. That's very fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's usually my thing. Because if there are people that do watch it and I think they like it, and I like those people. I'm glad those people are around, but it's not something that should ever become popular.
Well, there's two schools of thought today with the youngins like yourself. It's like just get famous at any cost.
Yeah.
Get on TikTok, share your dick on OnlyFans, whatever you have to do,
been there,
or
done that,
not,
yeah.
right? Or fuck that, and
Right.
you're in the fuck that category.
Yeah, I could care less about having anyone know who the fuck I am. Which, granted, here I am. Which
I know it's
kind of
nuts,
odd, but
that's also why you're here, right?
yeah.
It's also why your book came out today. It's like there's a synchronicity going on.
There's
Something's
where,
happening.
Like, things are crossing over that I didn't.
So you did your podcast, and in those stories that you would tell on the podcast, where you would drop some crazy information,
Exactly. Yeah,
then you decided to start clipping them up.
Exactly. So I would end it with just like, oh, here's some like half-ass history, which is what I called like the segment. And then I was like, oh, here's like a half-ass history segment, and just ramble about some bullshit from like Napoleon or something.
I binged them today, and because I was getting ready for you to come in. It was fun. No, it was fun. It was fun. You really freaked me out with the whole Outlaw Josie Wales thing. Like, I loved that movie. And now I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah, can't watch it anymore.
Oh, no.
It's the guy who wrote the book that turned into
Tell the story, because it's so crazy.
So, yeah, there was a fellow named Asa Carter. So Asa Carter is this massive white supremacist. Like, he was in the KKK and then left the KKK because they weren't racist enough. He was like, y'all don't hate black people way more. Like, y'all should be hating these people way more than you should. So he made his own version, like a splinter group of the KKK. And, he was part of, like, he would show up to, like, Nat King Cole concerts, try to drag him off the stage,
Oh, my God.
And he became a speechwriter for George Wallace. Not the comic, but, the governor of Alabama, George Wallace, who was, the segregation now, segregation forever. He was,
as you said, a massive piece of shit.
Massive.
In the video.
Horrible human being. Just an all-around
So he's a speechwriter for that guy.
He helped write that speech, the segregation now, segregation forever. He was a co-writer of that speech. Then things kind of fell apart from him. George Wallace was like, you're too racist for me, buddy. like, I just don't want him to go to school with my kids. He's like, I don't want them to not exist.
Oh, my God.
And, so he moved to Florida, changed his name I think to Forrest Carter, I think is what he changed his name to, and started writing books. One of them was the Rebel Outlaw Josie Wales, which, Clint Eastwood turned into.
God.
Outlaw Josie Wales.
I guess back then there was no Google, so a guy could do something like that, you would never know.
How would you know?
That's how Stephen King had Richard Bachman, remember?
Exactly. He wrote Running Man.
Yes.
He wrote Running Man as Richard Bachman, and other things too, but yeah.
What is it? What is it? The Dark Half? Is it the other one that I really liked?
Is that Richard? Is that?
I don't know if that was I think that was a Bachman.
The Talisman?
He had a bunch of them that were great.
Yeah,
that guy was cocaine worked so well for him.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's ever a dude, and I know he's clean and sober now, and God bless him, and I feel terrible that the guy got hit by a fucking van, like the whole deal. It's crazy.
Yeah. Is that
The Dark Half, Stephen King adaptation? Oh, so was Stephen King? It wasn't Bachman?
what?
Oh, he did another pseudonym.
He had a different.
Jesus Christ!
I didn't.
That's
know
how
that.
prolific that guy was.
I had no idea he
He's
had
so
another
prolific. He has extra pseudonyms.
He had a pseudonym for a pseudonym.
Bro, there's not
That's
a guy
incredible.
who has ever lived who has made more bangers, more just.
Follows Thad Beaumont, a writer who achieves fame. So it's about that. That's the pseudonym of the guy in the book.
So no, because if you look on the
So is it
poster,
purely
says
Stephen King?
King's name
Yeah, I think
on
it's
the.
just the Google that the AI get.
Right, but I think that's the actual. Is that the trailer for the film or the poster for the film?
A writer who achieves.
George Romero made the movie.
Yeah, is that
right
what that
there, is
image
that a-
is
Yeah, it
though, or
says
is that the
Timothy
image
Hutton.
from the book?
Timothy Hutton plays
But-
George
right.
Stark, so
No, I know that,
Sorry.
but is that image? Is that from the book
that's the poster.
for the
That's
movie?
That's the movie George A. Romero.
Yeah,
So it says
see,
Stephen
that's
King
why
there
it
for
says
sure,
Stephen King
but-
is because they're selling it.
Yeah, you'd have to find a picture of the book and see if like the book says.
But bottom line is,
They all say Stephen
they all
King.
say,
on
well, why
them.
would you change it now? It's like, see
Yeah.
see if the one that he wrote as Bachman for sure. Like, what did he write as Bachman
Well,
for sure?
Running Man was for sure Richard Bachman.
Okay. See if Running Man says Stephen King.
And I think Talisman. I think that was one that also.
He had a fake picture and everything?
That's amazing.
That's so wild.
I wonder who that guy is. Actually,
Richard
that looks-
Manuel, a builder and friend of Stephen King's literary agent.
That's incredible.
He's just a regular guy.
Just a guy. He's
Just some dude.
like,
and
he's like,
Stephen
buddy,
King's like,
listen.
hey, bro, I'm going to make you famous. That's kind of crazy. Oh, he wrote
inspired
Thinner,
by,
too.
Wasn't he inspired by Bachman Turner Overdrive?
About that.
Which is amazing.
That's hilarious.
BTO, one of the greatest bands of all time.
So he did write The Dark Half. The surname Stark was later used in a King. Oh, no.
No.
Okay.
Hold on.
Is it Richard Stark?
Yeah, go back.
Richard Stark is another one?
No.
No.
Richard
we
is
should
a
read the whole
tribute.
fucking-
Richard is a tribute to author.
Got it.
Yeah, so
Did he write
there's
it as Bachman? He did.
there should be
The
like
Bachman
a
books.
bibliography, I wonder.
Last moment he changed it.
At the last moment, he changed it to Richard Bachman.
But
There
Thinner
you go.
was.
Gus Pillsbury was a different one he was going to use.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Gus
At the
Pillsbury's
last
a
moment, he
good one.
changed it to Bachman. So Bachman was The Dark Half.
If I was a porn star, my name would be Gus Pillsbury.
Or was it The Dark Half? It says Thinner. Well, see, they're bringing up The Dark Half, so it has to be that. Stark was later used to surname Stark.
In
I don't
King's
know.
novel.
Either way,
Who knows
this Stephen
about
King. Let's forget about it.
But I think Running Man, I'm pretty sure Running Man is one of them, so.
He wrote so many good
Yeah.
books that he's like, I'm giving these people too many books. Let
Yeah.
me write some under a fake name while I'm the
Yeah.
biggest book-selling fiction guy in the world.
It's insane. Have you ever looked at just like the first 5 books?
Maybe that's what The Dark Half is about. It's like about his using of a pseudonym. Maybe that's why you're thinking.
Oh,
of it, too.
interesting.
I don't know.
Oh, well,
Interesting.
that makes sense. The dark
That does
half,
make
so
sense.
you have.
So, yeah.
But see,
Well, I
at the
think-
top it said Running Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Dark Half book is great.
I've never read that one.
Well, it's so funny that King was able to pull this off because
Yeah.
how many of his fucking stories about a writer who lives in Maine? It's so crazy. The guy just picks his home
Yeah.
state,
Yeah.
writer picks his profession, and then insanity ensues. You know, like it's all like
It's-
a writer in Maine.
Well, and they're all based on just things that are happening to him. Like, I can't remember which book it is that's about him, like, going through alcohol DTs. Oh, fuck. It's, I can't remember. But
Well,
The
let's put up
Shining.
the
The Shining.
bookography.
The
His
Shining is like
bookography, or whatever you would call it, is
Bibliography?
Bibliography.
Yeah,
bookography.
you're close, I mean.
If you look at his bibliography, it's
Yeah.
insane.
Because
he
it's
wrote
Carrie.
so many bangers.
Carrie's number 1, and then it's like Carrie, Salem's Lot, The
Yeah.
Shining, a couple other and then Christine, which.
Yeah, I
amazing.
didn't enjoy the Dark Half movie. It's like I hate that cliche of the book's better because it's never better because you can see the movie.
You're right.
But they
It's a
never
bunch of
nail it.
bullshit. Yeah.
It's just too hard.
Well, The Shining kind of does because it's being done by Stanley Kubrick.
Right, but he hated it.
Yeah, he hated it because
Which
he
is so
changed it.
nuts. Well, he said that
I
he
get
thought
it.
Nicholson turned crazy right away, and he wanted it to
'Cause
be
he
a
is.
very gradual thing.
Yeah, you know who he wanted?
Who?
Robin Williams.
Oh my God, he would have nailed it.
Robin Williams or Harrison Ford.
Bro,
which
you ever
both
see
is
Robin
great.
Williams in that 24-hour photo movie where he plays
1
a
Hour
psycho?
Photo.
Oh, that's it.
That's
It's a
it,
1 hour
dude.
photo?
That movie is so
Oh my
good.
God, it's
Dude,
insane. He's so good in it.
He might be one of the greatest actors of all time. Like a
Crazy
top
how good he is
10.
in that movie because you just
Yeah.
really believe he's a psycho.
Yeah, because he's so lovable at first, but there's
Yeah.
all these little signs that like keep this guy away from your kids. At
There's
least.
layers.
Yeah.
There's layers to that story.
Yeah, that's such a great movie.
He was a bummer when he died, man. That one bummed me out.
Yeah, I've only cried a couple times when like a famous person died. That's one of them. I like broke down. Heath Ledger and Steve Irwin were the others.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
Yeah, Steve Irwin especially.
Chadwick Boseman
Yeah.
from
Black Panther.
Black Panther and what else is he in?
He was in 42. Played Jackie Robinson.
The heartbreaking one. There's an interview with him where he's talking to that woman and he says, "I'm already dead," and she doesn't know what he's saying because he didn't tell anybody. The dude went through the mill. He was filming the movie while he was battling cancer.
While everyone was making fun of him for looking skinny and creepy looking. It's like,
Crazy,
yeah.
crazy.
Which, it is kind
A
of like,
gangster way to go.
it is.
So did Norm Macdonald. He did the same thing. Norm Macdonald didn't tell anybody that he had cancer. Just went up to Canada and died. He's battling it for years.
Yeah.
He told no one.
Yeah. You could kind of, it's one of those things that you can tell when you look back. Like when you look back and watch like episodes of like his show, you know, Norm's show, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you do.
I
kinda
know.
look
You
a
see the
little-
puffiness and the round eyes. His
Yeah.
eyes looks very tired.
That to me, that's the funniest human being of all time.
He's one of the all-time greats,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I'm sure you met him quite a bit, I would
I
imagine.
accidentally sat next to him twice on airplanes. Totally accidentally.
What a person.
And we were already friends.
Yeah.
So it was super cool. Like, I already knew
awesome.
him from the clubs, and I knew him from being around. And my good friend Adam was a good friend of his. He used to do that show that they did together.
Adam Egan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam Egan.
Okay. Yeah.
Who's the talent coordinator at the mothership.
Yeah.
So I'd known Norm forever, and then one time I was flying back from somewhere, and I sit down, and then Norm plops right next to him. I'm like, dude, like, what are the odds? And then we're having the most fun. It was the most fun.
That's
but the
awesome.
second time was even crazier, because Norm sits down next to me. We're having a great time.
Yeah.
Just laughing, and he's just so fun. We're talking all kinds of crazy shit. And he tells me, yeah, I quit smoking. And fucking hard to do, man, but I quit. I feel so much better. I'm so glad I did. I mean, it's so bad for you. I go, yeah, good for you, dude. Fuck those cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
So we land, and he walks straight into the store and buys a pack of cigarettes and is literally lighting it before he gets out the door. And I go, what are you doing? I thought you quit. And he goes, yeah, but all that talking about cigarettes made me want one.
I mean, he did quit for a little bit, and then when he landed,
I know a lot of people have quit,
need to do.
and a lot of people. I mean, they keep pointing to, like, it's like everyone's playing Russian roulette with fucking lung cancer. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
You're playing like 80% of people don't even get cancer, bro. Like,
Which I'll take those off. I mean, look, I'll tell you, smoking just looks so cool.
Yeah.
Smoking cigarettes, like, God, I smoke cigarettes, which I need to not do that. But God,
It
I
does.
do feel cool.
It's also I don't even give a fuck about my health. I'm out here thinking.
Well, I don't
shit.
have to be smoking a cigarette for people to realize that. Nobody's looking at me like, Jesus. That guy goes to the
But
Whole
that's
Foods
like
lot.
accelerating your demise, like
Yeah.
purposely accelerating your demise
It is-
for
yeah.
a head rush, which is I had to do
Yeah.
this thing once. But buddy of mine had this sketch show, and they had this sketch that they were putting together this idea, and he asked me to be like this troubled poet guy, and I said, okay, what do you think I should do? He goes like, I really think you should be like smoking cigarettes. You should be like this guy just smoking cigarettes and talk. And I'm like, okay.
That's right, yeah.
So I never smoked before,
Yeah.
and that day I probably smoked like 15 cigarettes. I felt like fucking
Jesus.
dog shit.
Oh,
dude.
my God.
My hands were shaking, and my friend Adam Ferrara, who's a comedian who was doing this with me, he smoked, and he gave me his cigarettes. And I'm thinking, how do you do this? How are you doing this to yourself every day? This is so crazy.
In what time span do you think the 15 cigs?
I guess we were doing it all throughout the day, so it was probably
15 in
4 or 5 hours.
It's quite a bit. I mean, even for like because I don't smoke I'm not like a pack a day or something like that.
Well,
It's
that's
about
good.
Probably a pack every 3 days. So.
Oh, that's not too bad, but it's still terrible for you.
It's still not good. I mean, I try to justify it in my head. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not
I
sitting
really
out there
do enjoy
chain
one right before I go on stage. I really do. It's
You smoke
it's
a cigarette
a
before you go?
nicotine thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you can get nicotine from a but it's the delivery methods that's different. Like there's something about smoking it, and cigars is similar too. Smoking the nicotine, it's a very different thing than like nicotine pouches and stuff like. I've never done the gum, but there's a benefit to nicotine. It's just the delivery method that's what's terrible for you.
Yeah, I don't think nicotine's ever really been proven to just be horrible for you.
It actually is neuroprotective,
Yeah.
which, like, I love saying those words because I don't really know what the fuck I'm saying, but it sounds like you're smart.
Yeah.
You know, Jillian Michaels was in here the other day, and she was talking about it. And she chews gum, and, you know, it's neuroprotective. People are like, oh, you're trying to quit smoking? She's like, no, it's actually good for you. Like, but most people aren't aware of that. They just think of cigarette smoking equals cancer, equals nicotine, equals you're doing something bad.
Well, because the nicotine obviously gets you partly addicted, and then makes you smoke more cigarettes, which is horrible.
Yes.
So there is like there's kind of like some blame you could put towards nicotine.
Well,
in that sense.
In that sense, yeah. Link in the description. Well, the real issue is that many cigarettes, they add a bunch of stuff to make them more addictive.
Well, right. That's the issue is that if they would take all that out, they wouldn't. I mean, obviously, so bad you shouldn't be breathing smoke into your
it's like
lungs.
that's natural spirits, right? Those are the ones. Or American
spirits, yeah.
But did you ever see that Russell Crowe movie, The Insider, where he plays the scientist?
Jeffrey Wygand.
Right, right. Is that who the character was that he was playing?
That's who he's playing, is Jeffrey Wigand. Yeah. That's cool.
That is so crazy that they did that.
Yeah, that makes you so mad when you watch it. You're like, you knew. Yeah. And like,
you knew, and you tricked people by making it more addictive, like with chemicals.
Yeah, look how much.
That's crazy.
Look how much sugar's in food.
But here's my why is it okay to do that with cigarettes, but it would never be okay to do that with cheeseburgers? If we found out that McDonald's was putting fentanyl in the cheeseburgers and made you come back and eat more cheeseburgers there, we'd be like, no fucking way. That's crazy. You're making them more addictive?
Yeah.
That's crazy. You can't do that.
The sugar that's in it, it does the same thing.
Sort of.
I mean, kind of.
Sort of. Yeah, I would say it does. But it doesn't, it's not killing you. Well, it kind of is.
I don't know.
Yeah,
you're not doing
it kind
too
of
great.
can. It kind of can. It's like very low dose poison. You know, essentially, like if you have a very good diet and you occasionally have a quarter pounder, you're gonna live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a low dose poison. Your body can filter out most of that stuff. The real problem seems to be when it becomes the primary focus of what you eat. Could you just get in a bunch of inflammation-causing bullshit that your body doesn't know how to get rid of? Your body's like, what is this you're feeding me?
But God, it feels so good.
So good.
Jesus. I mean, in the moment, it is. Oh, that's heaven on earth.
I had a quarter pounder once a couple of years ago, and I haven't had one. If I do go to McDonald's, I always eat filet of fishes. I love those fucking things.
You do?
I love those things. They're so good. They're my
That's
favorite.
weird, man.
No,
That's
because I can't lie to myself and pretend that's a cheeseburger. You know, like
you can lie and say that that's fish.
yes.
That ain't
Yes,
fish.
it's a thing. It's whatever it is. It's a sweet bun and a delicious, salty, fish-like thing in the center with that tartar sauce. It's just yummy. I'm not trying to trick
You don't have
myself.
to justify it to me. I mean,
I don't particularly like the taste of like those kind of burgers. I like a good smash burger or like an In-N-Out burger.
I'm with you. In-N-Out.
Five Guys.
In-N-Out, top of the line to
Top
me.
of
For
the
like
line.
fast food.
Yeah,
kind of
you can't go wrong, man.
It's the Chick-fil-A of burgers.
Can't go wrong. Like In-N-Out burgers are. If you don't like them, I don't like you. How about that?
Do you like Whataburger?
It's okay.
It's horrible.
It's not.
That
People want to
place
compare it
sucks.
to In-N-Out. Like Texas people get crazy. Like you're getting crazy.
Yes.
This is how we had a civil war. Like you gotta look at at things realistically.
Now, in that war, I'm taking the Whataburger people over the In-N-Out
For sure.
people.
100%. The
those
In-N-Out
big
people
Bubbas
are not armed.
No,
for
those
the most part.
Whataburger Bubbas are
Yeah.
coming to.
I mean, they started
not messing
In-N-Out
around.
in the wrong state for guns.
Yeah.
That's the state that's telling people that if someone breaks into your house, you should flee. You shouldn't tell them to get out and shoot
Get out
them.
of your own house. Yeah. Yeah, that's his now.
You should gather up your child and run up the hill behind your house and flee and hope they don't shoot you in the back.
Well, that's a good idea. Why
It's
not?
like you can't. It's like that piece of shit speechwriter. Like
Asa Carter?
yeah,
Yep.
There's gonna be nutty on both sides.
Yeah.
There's gonna be nutty on the left and nutty on the right, and
sure.
it's up to us, which is like most people are just reasonable.
Yes.
In the center, live and let live.
Yeah.
If you had like an ethic for this country, what are we about? We're supposed to be about freedom, live and let live. But the problem is the people on the far crazy screaming left and the people on the far crazy screaming right are all fucking losers.
Yeah.
And those fucking losers make you be connected with them and all their stupidity and poisons all the ideas that they agree with.
Right.
On both sides.
And they're so much louder, so you think there's more of them, when in reality it's like, what, 5% probably of each side?
Exactly.
You know? And then the other
I don't even think
90.
it's 5%. They're just the ones that are online all day long.
Right.
And then on top of that, you get a bunch of people who are paid to do it. So it's like, oh my God. When you see tweets, like people get busted all the time now, these air quotes influencers. They'll tweet something and then you'll see like 30 versions of the same tweet with the same wording. Like what is going on?
That's hilarious.
Like from now forever, I'll never listen to you again.
That's amazing. And there's,
On both sides.
That's so funny.
It's not a left-wing thing. It's not a right-wing thing.
Yeah.
I see it with fucking everything. It's like there's like large-scale manipulation going on. That's like really nuts to see.
I
Did you
like
see
it.
about that Reddit dead internet thing?
Reddit did it. I don't
Did
think
you see,
so.
Jamie?
No,
do you
no,
know
no.
about this? Like, there's, I believe it's might be a lawsuit.
Oh.
So this company used a bunch of chat bots. I believe it was on Reddit. I just sent it to someone. I'll find it if you can't find it. But I forget what the argument was about, but essentially they're getting in trouble for facilitating these fake arguments, like as an experiment.
Oh.
Which is,
That's wild.
For sure, countries are doing that. Reddit threatens to sue researchers who ran a dead internet AI experiment on its site. Deeply wrong on a both moral and legal level.
Well, that's not good.
So this is what they did. Change My View is the subreddit. Long been a contentious place for Reddit users to post an opinion and understand other people's perspective. Forum filled with fiery but largely civil debates covering everything from the role, political activism, to the dangers of social media and echo chambers. Okay. Lately, though, not every user posting on the forum has been a real human. As 404 Media reported this week, University of Zurich researchers dispatched an army of... Boy, Zurich? That's not a good place to do it from, guys. You shouldn't be involved in...
No, the Swiss
Where are you looking?
aren't
You
really-
sketchy.
Yeah.
Research dispatched an army of AI chatbots to debate human users on the subreddit in a secret experiment designed to investigate whether the tech could be used to change people's minds. The optics were horrendous, with bots claiming to be characters, including a survivor of sexual assault and a black man who opposes the Black Lives Matter movement. Worse yet, the AI models scoured the post history of users they were applying to in order to be as convincing as possible. Basically, a formalized trial run of the dead internet theory that much of the internet is already AI generated. You know about that theory?
Huh?
The AI dead internet theory. So the idea is that AI becomes sentient and completely fakes the internet.
Fakes the internet?
Yeah, pull it up, Jamie.
Well, I don't know if it explained it in that article.
But there was a link in that article under when it got to dead internet theory. There was actually a link. It was right there. Where is it? Scroll down a little bit.
It didn't have a-
No, it didn't have a link. The link was actually about it
Yeah,
passing
yeah.
the Turing test, which is it already did.
Right.
Which is
goes back to 2016.
Oh, did the internet die in 2016?
an online community. I think so. There's a lot of kooks,
wild.
like people with schizophrenia, that get things right. Like they
Yeah,
see
that
things,
is kind of the problem, is they're not always wrong.
Well,
Like-
eventually they're right. Like
Yeah.
Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. You know, that guy. His whole thing
Yeah.
was that technology was going to overtake the human race.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
think he's right.
Yeah, he wasn't necessarily wrong. He was just wrong to be blowing people up.
Oh, well, he was
That's the
really fucked up. Did you ever see the
MK
Netflix
Ultra stuff?
Did you see the Netflix documentary where they go over his life when he
Yeah.
was a baby, where they left him in the crib,
Yeah.
and he never got touched for like
Right.
months?
Which immediately, permanent damage.
Permanent.
You're screwed.
You can't fix that.
Yeah,
like
that's how you
broken.
get those wide eyes, where
And
that's how you
then
tell someone's crazy.
he gets in the Harvard LSD studies, where they humiliate him while he's on acid.
Yeah, because he was part of the MK Ultra. Like he
Yes.
had that professor that was like recruiting impressionable but highly intelligent young men, and
How
next thing you
crazy
know,
is
you're
that
in a
program?
cabin. MK Ultra's wild. Dude,
Wild.
that is one of the most interesting. The CIA in general. I mean, just like this is a rabbit hole of just the craziest things I've ever seen. But like all the Manson stuff, which I'm obsessed with Charles Manson, so all that stuff is.
Oh, the Manson stuff's crazy. The CIA stuff's not even a rabbit hole. It's like one of them labyrinths that they find in Turkey that could, like 2,000 people could live underground. You're like, who built this? What the fuck is this?
Yeah, like the
How long has this been going on?
Like the French catacombs, where it's just
Yeah.
like people get lost every day and all that.
If you go down the CIA rabbit hole, you'll find a city, like a civilization.
Atlantis. Yeah,
And then you have to think, okay, but also Russia has the same sort of operation going for Russia.
Right.
Every country has them.
Yeah, everybody has the CIA, KGB. I mean,
So they have to
secret
exist.
police,
So like,
all that.
let's all get rid of the CIA, and then what? We get taken over completely by Russia and China. It's like, slow down, everybody.
Yeah.
Like, there's a nutty AI war going on
Yeah.
right in front of your face. You just haven't heard the bombs go off yet.
Right.
It's happening right now.
Yeah.
And if they pulled that off from the University of Zurich, which is kind of creepy, that a university would like do that, pretend to be a black guy who's against the Black Lives Matter movement, and a
We've all
woman who
been
survived
there.
a sexual assault. You're just making it up. with AI chatbots. Like, this is
insane.
fucking wild. And just to see how people react, what the fuck do you think is going to happen?
Or find somebody who actually is one of those people and then see how people react. If that's what you want to do, like, you don't have to pretend to be one. There are lots of people who would probably just volunteer, and you could have a whole study, control group, have the whole thing.
Yeah, you don't have to do it anonymously on the internet under false pretenses. No. Like, you wouldn't have to do
Unless
that.
you just want to have fun. I mean, I guess that's their...
But the problem is, anytime you're doing a study with real people, they know they're in a study.
Yeah, what's that? There's a law, like where like you can't, something about being observed, like ruins the thing or whatever. Like, it's part of like I don't know. I suck at science, but I think there's something.
Well, I don't even know if that's science. I'm just talking about like humans. Like, if people know they're being watched as a part of a study,
you behave completely differently.
Yeah, you're going to influence their behavior.
Well, it's just like if you get asked a question to be part of a survey, you're not answering that thing accurately, even if it's anonymous.
Right.
Just because you know that like your answer is going to make you look maybe a little bit bad, you'll church up your answer a little. Maybe not outright lie, but if it asks you how many drinks do you have a week, you're not telling them the exact amount. You're not counting them up. You're going 6 to 8 sounds about right.
Yeah, this uncertainty is why I think we're super vulnerable.
Yeah,
because this uncertainty is why we're all going to be very vulnerable. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're going to be really vulnerable to any sort of electronic bridge that they start using, like whether it's a wearable or an implant that lets you legitimately read minds, which I fucking think is in our lifetime.
God, I hope not.
It's so scary, dude, because we'll give it up to know the truth. People will give it up to know the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how much of your data you give just so that you can Google things. Like, think of how much money they make off of your data and giving out your email address and all the fucking spam texts that you get every day, all the chaos. You gave that up.
Yeah, I
easy, just for free internet, just for free Google.
Yeah, I give it up. I don't give a damn. I just give it all up.
Everybody does. Yeah. But imagine like what Google would cost. Like if Google was a pay thing, and the only way you could ever know anything about what's going on in the world, you have to search it. Every search engine costs money.
Right.
It's like, whoa. But instead, you get this free value. But wouldn't you rather not pay? Of course. Yeah. But what if you paid for it, and then they couldn't use any of your data ever, and it was a totally like honest relationship, and you're not allowed to curate the information either.
Yeah.
You just have to like put out the information as it exists online.
Right. Yeah.
We gave up privacy, we gave up our data, and we didn't even think about it. We didn't even know it was a thing that we were giving up. And then we're gonna give up sentience. We're gonna fucking be connected to the hive mind.
Yeah.
I really think so.
Yeah, because it's weird, like with the, online like data privacy. Like you don't really know what it is that you're giving up. It's not like normal privacy where, like, if somebody asks, like, hey, can I take a picture of your driver's license? You'd say, no. What are you talking about? No, you can't.
Right.
But they can get the majority of that information through, they can track, get your address, they can find out even more information about you through giving up, like, your privacy, like data privacy.
Yes.
But we don't, we don't have, like, a list of what they're getting. I mean, I guess you do if you read that whole damn thing, but who's reading that? Like, the privacy terms and
Nobody
conditions.
reads that shit. Somebody told me there was something, that we might have to edit this out if it's not true, but somebody told me there's something fucked up about Google's terms and whatever terms apply. They're with the thing that you have to agree to, that it has something in there that you'll agree to mediation.
To mediation?
Yeah, like in case of some sort of a dispute, a legal dispute, you've agreed to mediation so you're not going to sue them.
So you can't really. Yeah, like whenever you get hired at a new job, they have those kinds of like clauses typically. Yeah. That's so weird.
If it's true.
Yeah, it was.
Well, we need to find out if it's true. 'Cause somebody was telling it to me, and I was like, wait, what?
Whew.
Yeah, that sounds insane.
So I type that in, this is what pops up.
Except as required by applicable law, mediation is voluntary, and neither you nor Google are obligated to settle disputes through mediation.
What the hell does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know the context in which you were told it, because this is like for
But
developers.
this is, I said Uber.
I think you said Google, I thought.
No,
I
no,
thought
no,
you
no,
said
no, no,
Google
no.
too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Uber.
Oh, okay.
Uber. I'm sorry. I probably mumbled.
Uber.
Okay. Uber's terms of service include a binding arbitration clause, meaning users agree to resolve disputes through arbitration rather than in court. This arbitration is individual and non-consolidated, meaning you can't join with others in a class action suit. Uber also limits its liability and states that drivers are independent contractors, not employees. If you have a dispute, you can try to resolve it through mediation, but it may ultimately be resolved through arbitration.
That's wild. Jesus.
That's kind of wild. It's like we have our own rules.
Yeah.
Our laws, no. Forget about the laws of the land. No, you agree to a legal contract. That's like very sneaky.
It's very,
right? Because if there's laws, if we have laws to prevent fraud and laws to prevent negligence,
Yeah.
we have those for companies. And you're a company. Like, no, we're not.
Yeah.
We're not even a company.
Yeah.
There's people, they're independent
Yeah.
contractors.
Right.
Oh, you have no liability at all and you make all the money. What a great deal. Who did you pay? Who did you
Yeah.
fucking pay off to get that sweetheart of a deal?
Yeah, and also, how many people know what arbitration is? Because I'll be honest, I don't know what it is. I was just kind of going with
Sounds
everything.
scary if you got to go through arbitration.
I could not
I
explain
don't want
to
to
you
do
what
that.
arbitration is.
Let's
I just
find
kind of agreed with everything.
Well, I think what
and-
essentially they're saying that you have to have a conversation with them outside of like a judge and jury ruling. You know what I mean? Like we have to have some sort of mediation. I think that's what they're saying.
Probably.
I could be wrong.
Well,
but
if that is, I'm sure that's in your best interest to
that's not.
to do that.
Yeah, like
yeah, that's wild.
the thing about Uber is if they're just private contractors, then it becomes like, okay, what is your responsibility to screen these private contractors? Because
Yeah.
some of these people might be psychos, and you're a
Yeah.
woman and you get in a car with someone who hasn't been
Right.
vetted and they're a psycho. That's
I'm wondering if this has to do with where it's based as a company.
where is it based? On the moon?
Talking about the laws of the Netherlands.
The Netherlands.
The Netherlands.
Well, that would be a
So-
good move. You got to start
Yeah.
somewhere where the Nazis rolled through with fucking tanks.
So it says on
Yeah,
their
it's either
website.
that or Luxembourg, whichever one you want.
Did the Nazis get to Netherlands?
It keeps talking about
well,
Amsterdam,
yeah, that's where
Netherlands,
Anne Frank was.
International-
that's right.
Amsterdam.
Vienna Convention.
That's right.
Yeah.
Vienna Convention on the International Sale of Goods shall not apply. Okay. Except as was set forth in these terms shall be exclusively governed and construed in accordance with the laws of the Netherlands, excluding its rules on conflicts of laws. Excluding its rules on conflicts of laws. What does that mean?
I don't.
That's a weird thing to say.
This may as well be Portuguese as far as
In
I'm
accordance
concerned.
with the laws of the Netherlands, excluding its rules on conflicts of laws.
I have an idea.
So
Yeah.
conflicts
What do you
of
think it
laws
is,
must
Jamie?
be a
I should
different-
copy and paste this into like Grok or ChatGPT.
Oh, no. We're going down so many rabbit holes.
Explain this to an American, please.
Kids use
Jesus.
Uber so much, man, that like a small percentage comparative to the past of kids are getting their driver's licenses.
Good.
You're probably right.
Perfectly fine with that.
God. Is Grok your favorite to use? What do you like
I
to use
bounce
most?
back and forth. You have to go. Yeah, I honestly think you have to test them all when you're asking a question you really want the answer to.
It's very
Because they give
responsible.
you varying responses. I had a ChatGPT lie to me yesterday 4 times in a row.
Look how quick this is. Let me break this down for
Isn't it wild?
an
Like,
American audience in plain language.
it's insane.
This selection of a contract explains. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, if it's already happened,
yeah.
if
yeah.
if AI has already taken over, we've already agreed by the timing of your book, the synchronicity is real, and that
Yeah.
maybe the simulation is real. And then if
sure.
it's going to be simulated, it's not going to be simulated by a bunch of people. It's going to be
No,
simulated
no.
by artificial
No,
intelligence.
there'd be way more mistakes if it was people.
Yeah. Dutch law applies. The contract governed by the laws of the Netherlands, not U.S. law. This means Dutch legal principles will guide how the contract is interpreted, except for conflicts of laws rules, which deal with choosing which country's laws apply. Oh, that's what it is. Also, an international treaty called the Vienna Convention, which covers sales of goods, doesn't apply here. So essentially they're saying,
Yeah.
like, we go by the Netherlands laws. If you have different laws in the United States, go pound sand. Those don't matter. This is in the this is in the Netherlands. Your lawsuit's here.
It also
Yeah.
probably depends on what happened. Like if it's a speed limit thing, you go by the rules of the speed limit. But if it's something about interpersonal, the driver and the and
Don't
going
you
into,
think that if you do business in a particular country, you'd have to follow the laws of that country? Doesn't that just...
You would think, yeah.
I mean, I'm not even trying to be unreasonable here. Maybe they're better in the Netherlands. Maybe they're more fair. I don't know. It's not even a value judgment. I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they just want the best for their customers.
Yeah.
So they say, you know what? If they really want to sue the fuck out of us and win, we really should do it in the Netherlands. Maybe.
Isn't that where The Hague? The Hague is in the Netherlands, right?
Is it?
You know, where the world, like, what do you call it? Crimes against humanity, like war crimes, is all in The Hague. Yeah. I don't know if that means anything.
I don't know if it means anything either, but I would imagine if you're doing business in China, you're not allowed to say, yeah, but U.S. rules only. We only got, so if you want to sue us, it's like, you got to fucking sue us in Alabama. They'd be like, fuck you. We'll sue you right here. Sit your ass down. What are you talking about?
Our place.
Yeah, you're doing business in China. You get sued in China, motherfucker.
You should always, no matter what, wherever you are, you got to follow those laws.
That would
how would that not?
seems super reasonable.
Seems like it.
It seems like you shouldn't be able to avoid that by like setting up shop in some fucking dictatorship somewhere. You know, like you're homies with some guy who's a dictator, and you're like, bro, you want to make some money together? We'll incorporate in your country. Let's fucking raise some cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all very weird. It's very weird. But the driverless car thing might be even weirder because that's a solution out of it. Like, man, I don't trust these Uber drivers. They're sketchy, man. Good. Get in one of those fucking robot cars.
Waymos.
Yeah, get in one of those Waymos where you can't even bribe it, okay? If the government's trying to get you and they have a setup for you, go, bro, change the plans. This is what I want you to do. I'm going to give you $500. You're going to drive me to Ohio. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, you can do that. Like, if the government's after you and you're in a fucking Uber drive and the guy's cool, you go, listen, dude, I'm going to make this worth your while. It's a 4-hour drive, 4 hours back.
Yeah, how do you do that to a Waymo?
You don't. They get you. They shut the car off. They lock the doors. And
then you're locked into the Uber contract, probably.
Waymo's partnered with Uber.
Oh, I know, because I was gonna get in one yesterday. I was like, I haven't been to Austin in a long time. Like, I used to come down here a lot, like in high school or whatever, sneak into bars and whatnot. And I saw these Waymos, like, what the hell is this thing? I've never heard of this. Didn't know this existed. And I see it like driving around, nobody driving. I'm like,
weird.
I do not like this at all. But immediately downloaded the Uber and Waymo app because I was like, well, let me just get one to take me up to like 6th Street or something.
Did you get in?
No, I chickened out. I just don't think. Because what if it just doesn't want to take me there? Like, what if something happens where he's like, you know what I would like to do? Take you down 35 at about 90 miles an hour in the wrong lane, in the opposite
What if my
direction.
front camera goes out and I can't see what's in front of me and I just start plowing into other cars? Like, I'm not saying that that's going to happen or wherever will happen. I'm sure there's a bunch of backup cameras. Don't get me wrong. But it just sketches me out. Although I do think it's inevitable.
Yeah, I looked it up. There's only been one fatality involving one, and it wasn't even their fault. It was a driverless one where someone rear-ended the Waymo, So I was like, well,
they seem pretty safe. Like, in terms of, like, the way they drive, too. They drive real slow and steady, and they're easy to avoid.
I could see taking one, like, if you're just going around, like, a neighborhood or something, you just, like, you're never going above 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Getting on, like, the interstate on one of these things.
Imagine if you could show this to Ted Kaczynski. Get him away from me!
He's like, I was right.
I was right. They're coming to get us.
God, back to my cabin.
Yeah. We are allowing them to come to get us. We're paying for them. We're psyched. We're like, whoa, this is cool. Yep. I'm guilty of it. I have a Tesla that does auto driving. You go doot doot.
Yeah.
You turn this button on, and it fucking stops at stop signs, hits its blinkers, goes around stuff. It's crazy.
Do you use it?
Very rarely.
Okay.
It weirds me out, but I do sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it like have it driven me home 3 or 4 times, just like doo doo, just like this is crazy. Just because it's weird, But I'm always my hands are close. I'm never like looking at my phone or anything like that. That's crazy.
I would trust that. Like if just sitting in there and like kind of, you could take control if need be.
But that's the bridge, bro.
Yeah,
that's the bridge.
I don't like a bridge.
That's the bridge to transhumanism.
No, I think we all need to stay in our separate. No bridges. No.
I agree, but I think we're going. I think we are the last of these kind of people. And then the people from now on will be like personally, like physically integrated with some kind of electronics.
Yeah, I don't like that one bit.
Dude,
I'm too much of an acoustic type fella. I can't be.
I think there's so much wild genetic stuff going on right now that they're going to change what it means to be a person within our lifetime. Like there was a thing in China. See if you can find this. Do you know what a tardigrade is?
No.
Tardigrades are these really weird little, almost insect-looking things that are unbelievably durable.
Oh,
they're
these
tiny,
little
microscopic little fuckers.
Yeah, they call them like something bears. Or
Yeah.
I've seen that.
What do they call them? What kind of bears?
Little water bear.
Water bears.
Little water bear. Yeah.
So these little fuckers can survive forever in space. For whatever reason, they go into like hibernation in space.
Like that.
And they think there's some of them from the Japanese lunar lander that are actually on the moon. They think tardigrades are on the moon and that they're like in a suspended state of animation, and that if you brought them back to the United States, they'd kick back in and be alive again. That's how crazy these little fuckers are.
Weird.
So there was this Chinese experiment where they're integrating tardigrade DNA into human DNA.
That's a good idea. There's nothing that could ever go wrong with doing that. Jesus.
But what happens if someone develops like a bulletproof, immortal human that lives, like literally lives forever unless it gets hit with a meteor? Like, that's not outside of what's possible, man.
No.
They developed, or they were developing some kind. See if you can find that first before I make you Google this. But they were trying to develop some sort of bulletproof human skin using spider silk. So they were going to
make sense, like Kevlar's spider silk.
But your own skin, like with gene splicing.
I don't like that. The gene splicing thing freaks me out. Spliced, like that movie. I don't know if you ever saw that with Adrian Brody.
Ooh, that was crazy.
Is a great movie, but like just seeing all the, I'm like, that's what my mind immediately goes to is him banging this thing with its dragon
alien
wings.
thing. Yeah, that thing was sick.
Yeah,
it was a kind of a goofy movie.
Oh yeah,
well, it wasn't like wow, I would really believe that was happening. No, it was
Schindler's List or something. Yeah,
it was kind of goofy, but it was fun, and it was just very strange. You know, that, like because you go, okay, I could kind of see that happening
for sure. Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's kind of what a lot of that is. What was that, CRISPR? You remember that thing was kind of that was a talking point for.
Well, they have CRISPR too now, which is even more effective apparently.
This is made by an artist.
Bulletproof skin is made of goat. No, this isn't it.
Goat?
No, there was. What's that?
Lab-grown skin, reinforced spider silk can stop bullets, but when you go to what it actually is,
so it's bullshit.
It's not bullshit, but it's just it's someone sort of explaining things differently.
I mean,
I thought there was it was a study about human skin.
That's what I think that they were trying to say.
Oh, so it's like a bullshit headline in this story?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
And this is back from 2018 is when this went to
did you find anything in the tardigrade thing?
Yeah, and it had, they were explaining what it did. So there's, it showed that there was a clean transfer. New cells function normally.
But also demonstrated increased rate of cell growth.
They're trying to make them immune to radiation is what the idea was.
They're making super people, man. They're making X-Men. That is so crazy.
That is wild.
They're going to put fucking tardigrade genes into humans.
God, that makes me so uncomfortable.
They may create super soldiers. What the fuck? So, okay, China has already done these genetic experiments on babies that are supposed to inoculate them to HIV, but also somehow increase their intelligence. And the guy got in trouble, and they said, "You're bad. You shouldn't have done that research that we paid you to do." And so they put him in jail for like a couple of years. Probably played golf,
right?
And then
Goodfellas.
Now he's out. But that happened, and that's just what we know about publicly. Like, why would they tell if they were like making super soldiers, and if they really like? By the time we hear about it. There's probably some mountain in China that has an underground base, just like we have, just like Area 51. They got some base carved into the side of a mountain, and they're doing wild shit over there.
Where Jared Leto lives, or whatever.
He lives in the LA one.
Yeah.
He lives in the one that's connected to the music scene in Laurel Canyon. You know, because it's all like, the whole music scene has like weird intelligence agency
The Laurel
roots.
Canyon thing is strange.
Crazy.
Yeah, with all those people like Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, well, maybe not Neil Young, but like, like a lot of those artists had like
too many connections.
Yeah, and Jim Morrison's dad started Vietnam.
Yes.
I mean, that's like
Jim
the big
Morrison's
thing.
dad was like a serious military man.
Yeah, he was the Navy admiral during the Gulf of Tonkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like you first hear about that one and we go, what? Get out of here.
Yeah.
But then you hear, well, no, like it's not like these artists didn't exist, but why did they become famous? Why did they get promoted? Like what was it about? Was it do you think it's like a psychology? But because like take a guy in the Laurel Canyon scene like Hendrix. Like you can't make a Hendrix accidentally. Or you can't make a Jim Morrison, even though his dad was like, there's something about that guy. The way he sang, just the way it felt like when he was on stage. He was a star, man. I don't think you could turn a person who isn't that into that.
No, not even close.
No.
No, you can pump up like a pop idol. You can't really pump up a rock star.
Right. You
Like
can make a boy band.
Yeah, you can make a boy band.
Yeah.
You could, make Ariana Grande out of clay and send her ass out at there.
You can't make Bob Dylan.
God, no, you can't do
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
you
you
can't
can't do
make
that
that.
to Jim Morrison. You
Right.
can't do that to like a lot of those. Like a actual rock star.
Yeah.
Is just that's like a flash in the pan. Like it happened. We don't know how it happened.
Any kind of musical star, it's like it either, there's no way. I shouldn't say no way, but I don't think the intelligence agencies can like get a guy and train him to be that.
No, you could like take a budding scene and pump it up, but that scene's already there. Like it was already going to exist. Like it already was existing. I mean, there was like the beatnik stuff in New York that was already happening way before any of this. So like, and they were just kind of the next generation of that, just the West Coast version. But there's like that was already there. So yeah, if you want to say there's like a conspiracy that they pumped it up and like put more money into like marketing their music to make sure that those artists' music got sold more and played on the radio more, like kind of a payola sort of thing.
Right.
That makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
that could be. I don't know that it happened, but
I know it's confusing, right? Because you want to draw conclusions, but then you got to go, okay, you can't invent Janis Joplin. You can't make that in a lab.
No.
Like, when she's singing "Piece of My Heart,"
Jesus.
you just like that is either that's like God just kissed her with this talent.
Yeah.
You can't like engineer that. I don't think.
yeah,
I don't think.
No, there's no way.
But if they could do that, they could manipulate all of reality.
Well, if they could do that, then they should probably do another one. 'Cause Jesus Christ. I mean, the amount of times, dude, that I've seen like people on TV that are supposed to be these like massively famous artists, I'm like, I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah.
And I'm like in the age where I should still know who all these people are. Like I'm pretty young, but like, yeah, I don't know who they are, and they all sound horrible. Like I don't. Like this is the proof of there being some simulation where we're all just like listening to the same. But I wonder if people thought that about every damn genre of music. Like
I think they
I don't know.
did, but I think there's something particularly lost about this current generation because of social media.
Yeah.
Because of what we were talking about with those chat bots arguing with each other, and we know for sure that happens all over Twitter and Instagram. There's a lot of bot accounts, and just I think people are super confused as to like what's like a real thing.
Right.
What's real? What resonates? Like what feels? What's cool and what's not? What's being promoted and artificially astroturfed, and what's just fucking cool where it draws people into it? And it's harder to tell now. It's tricky.
Well, it also seems like there isn't, because like you go back to let's say like the '60s, and you think like okay, late '60s, this is the time of like Hendrix and like the Rolling Stones, the Sgt. Pepper, like these like the highly influential experimental
Eric
musicians.
Clapton.
Yeah, Cream was like hadn't broken up yet. They broke up in like '70. But like the number one song in like 1969, or one of them was Sugar Sugar by the Archies. It's like one of the most mainstream bubblegum pop songs ever. It's like there was all, but those like Hendrix and stuff were still there. Like it was in the zeitgeist. It was still popular. But now it's like those types of people are nowhere to even be found, and it's all just the sugar type things. If that makes sense.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
But there's
like,
still a lot of really good bands now.
well, there are.
The thing is, like, the whole music business is weird because you don't sell anything anymore other than tickets to come see people.
Yeah.
But yet, there's still a giant industry that is involved in promoting and
Right.
taking these artists and, essentially
Yeah.
locking them up to these deals.
Well, yeah, because you get the ticket money. I mean,
Yeah, but they get the ticket money now, and that's the thing
Right.
that the music companies didn't used to get.
exactly. So yeah, you still are gonna market, distribute the way that you would have in the past, but now you're just getting your slice of cake from a different you're getting it from a different area than you used to. But you're still pumping them out, pumping them up for the same reason, ultimately to make money. It's just you're getting it in a different way.
What I'm saying is that now a bunch of people are emerging that aren't doing any of that stuff. You got like your Tyler, the
okay.
Creator type dudes.
Yeah.
Completely
yeah.
disconnected
Well, that's
from that
true.
system.
Yeah.
Makes his own music.
Right.
Makes his own. He's the creator of his own domain. And
Yes.
you don't need all those people. And so you have this weird thing happening now where you have a lot of like AstroTurf stuff, a lot of stuff that's just like thrown out there to try to get people to link. It sounds like stuff that people like and it's created, but you still have a lot more opportunity for legit artists to just, like Zach Bryan, just emerge from like TikTok clips or whatever they were.
Yeah, right.
YouTube clips.
Yeah, there's always going to be the ones who come out in like the indie way, of like what Tarantino was for like movies, like come out like I'm doing this all on my own, and like there's always going to be those people. I just think it seems like there's not a lot of those. That
But
get
when
to the
they
high
break
point.
through, it fucking means something.
Yes,
like
and-
Oliver Anthony.
Yes. Yeah.
Dude, you want to hear his new song and we can't play it on the show?
Sure.
You
Yeah.
Yeah, how about
Hell
that?
yeah.
Well, everybody at home, we'll be right back. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my God,
Yeah, man.
dude,
See,
that's
that
Jesus.
exists, right? So in the middle of all this honey, honey, sugar, sugar shit that you're seeing
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
there's still Oliver Anthony. There's still people out there that are
Right.
legit. They're legit. There's a
Yeah.
bunch, man. There's a
Yeah.
lot. There's just a lot of noise.
Yes, true. And I think I also just don't try to find things as much. You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
don't like pursue it the way I probably should, because in my head I just have this like bias of like, if it came out
It's
in the last
hard,
20 years, I
man.
don't care. Like,
It's hard to find
Yeah.
stuff, It's like I get suggestions from a lot of my friends. That's some of the best songs.
yeah,
But also, Spotify has a really good. I know I work for Spotify, blah blah. But for real, their suggestion thing is legit.
It's amazing.
The algorithm's very good. It's legit. It knows
Yes.
like the kind of vibe you're into.
yeah. I agree. Because I'll look, put in just some like random playlists, or like in my head think of like, well, what do I want to hear like right now? How about like 70s garage rock? And I'll just put
Right.
that in, and there's like all this amazing stuff. It'll have like some deep cuts from like the Stones, which is like one of my favorite bands, and like, just all this other stuff that I've never heard before, but it all came out around that time, has
Yeah.
the same sound, and there's never a miss on that whole list of like 200 songs. Like,
Yeah.
this is incredible.
There's some great playlists.
Yeah.
It's like that's what's interesting too about people curating their own playlists. Like there's a bunch of my friends that'll give me their playlists. Like Tony gave me one of his playlists the other day. I was like, God damn, this is fucking legit. Like,
Yeah.
a bunch of cool shit that I never heard before.
Yeah. Oh, I make playlists all the time. That's one of my favorite things to do as like a hobby, is